They say the scariest stories aren't the ones we make up, but the ones that actually happened. Today, we'll look into one such story. It was supposed to be a new beginning, a dream home, a fresh start for the Lutz family. But the house at 112 Ocean Avenue had other plans. Before the Lutz family ever moved in, 6 people had been murdered in their beds, their faces down, their voices forever silenced. Whatever evil was born that night, it never left. This isn't just another horror story. This is the true story of the most terrifying haunting in American history, the Amityville Horror. In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz thought they'd found their dream home, a beautiful Dutch colonial at 112 Ocean Avenue, nestled in the quiet town of Amityville, New York. It had 5 bedrooms, a boathouse, and a basement to die for, literally. The house had been on the market for a significantly lower price. Why? Because barely a year earlier, it had been the site of one of the most brutal family murders in American history. George didn't care. He wasn't superstitious, just practical. So he moved in with Kathy and their 3 children, thinking the past was buried. But in this house, the past was wide awake. It began subtly. Then it swallowed them whole. George grew distant, cold, obsessive, chopping firewood like his life depended on it. He stopped sleeping. Every night, he jolted awake at exactly 3:15 a.m., the same time the DeFeo family was murdered. Rooms turned ice cold with the heat still running. Kathy smelled perfume in one room, raw sewage in another. Something unseen brushed her skin. She woke with welts. She levitated in her sleep. The house wasn't haunted. It was alive. It did not stop there. Their 5-year-old daughter, Missy, began talking to an invisible friend named Jody, a demonic pig with glowing red eyes. She said Jody could change shape and fly. She said Jody promised her that she would live there forever. One night, George looked up at Missy's second-floor window and saw 2 red eyes staring down at him. When he burst into her room, the rocking chair was moving. Missy was asleep. Her closet door slowly creaked shut on its own. Every night, doors slammed with no one near. Windows shattered. Crucifixes spun upside down. Green slime oozed from keyholes. Outside, hoofprints appeared in the snow. Yet no snow had fallen. Kathy dreamed the murders. Which room, which child, how they died, face down, motionless. And then came the black hooded figure. It stood at the foot of their bed. Every night, watching, waiting. That wasn't the end. Next day, in the basement, George found a hidden crawlspace. It wasn't on the blueprints. The walls were painted blood red. The dog wouldn't go near it. At night, George heard snarling from inside. Missy said it was Jody's room. That's where Jody screams when she's hungry. Lutz family was terrified at this point. In order to understand better the reason behind these occurrences, we have to go back in time. In 1965, Ronald DeFeo Jr. and his wife, Louise, moved into a large Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, with their 5 children, Ronald Jr., nicknamed Butch, Don, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew. The home, adorned with a sign reading High Hopes, symbolized the family's aspirations. Despite outward appearances of affluence and normalcy, the DeFeo household was fraught with tension. Ronald Sr. was known to be a dominant and abusive figure, often directing his anger towards Butch. Butch, in turn, exhibited troubling behavior from a young age, including violent outbursts and substance abuse. He was expelled from school at 17 and began using LSD and heroin. The family's attempts to address Butch's behavior through psychiatric help were short-lived. Instead, they resorted to material incentives, providing him with gifts like a $14,000 speedboat, which only seemed to exacerbate his issues. And then comes the night of November 13th, 1974, the night soaked in blood. It happened in early hours. Inside 112 Ocean Avenue, the silence of sleep was shattered by the crack of gunfire, loud, sharp, and final. One by one, Ronald DeFeo Jr. crept through the house with a .35 caliber Marlin rifle in his hands, a blank stare on his face, and murder in his heart. His first target, his parents. He entered the master bedroom where Ronald Sr. and Louise slept. No struggle, no screams, just the explosive sound of bullets ripping through flesh and bone. Louise's body was so badly disfigured that she was nearly unrecognizable. The bed soaked red, and then he kept going. His siblings never had a chance. Dawn, Allison, Mark, and little John Matthew, all shot in their beds, face down, as if asleep forever. Some of them were shot twice. There were no signs of resistance, no calls for help. It was as if something paralyzed them, or they never saw it coming. 6 family members executed. The most haunting part? No neighbors heard screams. No one fled the house. Every victim was found lying perfectly still, face down, as if positioned by something or someone. The rifle had no silencer, but no one moved. The following day, Butch reported the deaths to the police, initially claiming that a mob hitman was responsible. However, inconsistencies in his story led to a confession. Butch would claim voices made him do it, that he was possessed, that the house itself whispered in the dark and urged him to kill. When the police arrived the next day, they found a home frozen in a nightmare, blood-spattered sheets, lifeless bodies, and a quiet so unnatural it made the air feel heavy. In the basement, the family dog still barked, alone, forgotten. And upstairs, in 6 bedrooms, the echoes of terror hung in the air like smoke. It wasn't just murder, it was something else, darker, hungrier. The house had been fed, and it wasn't done yet. The Lutz family couldn't take it anymore. Doors banged, furniture floated, laughter echoed from the vents. Something chased them room to room, not to kill, but to watch them run. Barefoot in the snow, they fled for their lives, leaving everything behind. The Lutz family never returned. Jay Anson's 1977 book, The Amityville Horror, chronicled their ordeal, becoming an overnight sensation. Critics called it a hoax. Skeptics dissected every detail. But the Lutzes never took it back. Not truly. Today, the house still stands. New owners have come and gone. Some say it's peaceful now, but others report lights flickering on at 3:15 a.m. even when the house is empty. And sometimes, in the dead of night, you can still see red eyes staring out from the second floor. This is the story of Amityville horror that shook the nation. It teaches us that evil doesn't die, it waits. And when it's hungry again, it will find a new name, a new home, and you might be the one who walks in.